success day, it's an Earth Horse Day, a success day. So today's topic, we will be talking about health in the season of metal as we transition into the season of water. Now I have invited a very special guest, Michele Horn Tomic. I hope I said her name correctly. And she is an acupuncturist all the way from Switzerland. And we are going to be talking about everything health and BaZi, health and TCM. And so give me 1 second as I bring her on. Okay, view request. Let's see. Okay.
Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Michele. We have liftoff.
Great. Perfect. Fantastic. Let's take it off.
Okay. So my name, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Melanie Norman. I'm a Chinese metaphysics consultant, and I teach everything Chinese metaphysics, including classical feng shui, BaZi, Chinese astrology, date selection, and TCM, but traditional Chinese dietary therapy. So for my other lifetime, for about 30 years, I taught food healing and traditional Chinese dietary therapy. Then I found out about this amazing study called Chinese Metaphysics and Classical Feng Shui and BaZi. So I was already doing health counseling at the time, as I had helped start a school called the Academy of Healing Nutrition in New York City, and I taught for 20 years at the Natural Gourmet Institute of Health and Culinary Arts in New York City. I started looking at BaZi charts and their people's health. I said, oh, wow, you can really see people's health in the BaZi charts. So I started including that. I think I was one of the first ones back in was it the early 20s, mid 20s? Early 20s, where I started teaching people about seeing people's BaZi and their health. So that's why I invited this wonderful, lovely lady. Let's see if I can pronounce her name correctly. Michele Horn Tomic. Is that correct?
Tomic.
Excuse me. Tomic. Michele Horn Tomic. I'm trying, Michele. I'm trying.
It's not an easy name.
So Michele was a student of mine and a client of mine, and I want to congratulate her because she just finished the BaZi certification course. She was an excellent student. I knew she would be. And she's an amazing acupuncturist all the way from Switzerland. So I said, we have to get together, and I wanted to actually have her on my monthly sharing of the wood dog, because the wood dog is the graveyard season of metal. So what's the graveyard season of metal? That's the transition time between the season of metal and going into the season of water. So that's what we are in right now. And I was hoping to get her on then, but she was on vacation in a very beautiful place. So I said, no, I can't do that to her. Anyways, I said, let's do an Instagram live and talk all about health and the importance of health, because if you don't have your health, right, it's very difficult to go after your wealth and to actually enjoy your family, your relationships, to just enjoy, to be in the world and navigating the very challenging world that we have today. So it's a very, very important topic. So welcome, Michele. Thank you for joining. It is my pleasure to have you. Now, I said, Michele, send me your resume. I just need 2 sentences. Just tell me about you. She sent me like this long. I'm like, oh, that's quite a resume. So, Michele, from what I understand, you started your studies in Switzerland, then you went to China, and you lived in the middle of China.
Yeah.
And you worked in China. Of all places, Michele.
Of all places, and now it's famous. Yes.
Oh my heavens!
It wasn't famous when I was there.
Wow. Okay, and then anyways, and so I'm just going to give you a short synopsis, and I'll let Michele give you the long version. And now she's an acupuncturist in Switzerland, and you also just got a very special certification, didn't you? A higher
Yes,
level.
I got this Swiss national diploma because there's a reorganization of the education in Switzerland, so they're changing things, and it was very important to get that degree.
Okay.
So I'll have that.
Congratulations. So, Michele, tell us a little bit more about your amazing background, and I welcome all of you who are joining, and then we'll jump into the season of metal and what metal means and the organ systems it's related to and what you have to watch out for and be careful of.
Thank you.
So go ahead.
First, I want to say I really enjoyed Melanie's course. It's a great addition to the work that I do. I've been working with Chinese medicine for about 10 years now, and I didn't take the traditional route. I didn't start with studies first. I actually started translating Chinese between doctors and patients. Chinese English, Chinese German, Chinese French.
Wow.
I have quite a knack for languages.
Wow.
And I've done quite a lot of other jobs before that, and when I got into the practice, I knew that is what I wanted to do. So a couple of weeks later, I found a course, signed myself up, and I got ready into the studies. And it was one of the best things I could have done because I was learning the theory, going to the practice, speaking to the doctors, testing it out, and really understanding the details. And there's one thing about Chinese medicine: it's a huge field. So it's very easy as a beginner to get lost in all of this information if you don't know how to categorize it or use it properly. So I really feel that was, for me, was very defining to have these people that I was with, these doctors who were who I was shadowing and who were nurturing me and teaching me along the way.
Very true. Very true.
I started.
Michele, listen. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I started off in Switzerland, and afterwards, a couple of years later, I went to China, where I carried on with practical experiences and some more studies, and also the Chinese language.
She's very lucky because this is one of my dreams. Don't tell anybody. Okay, I always wanted to go and put myself in a Chinese hospital, but not the American Chinese hospital. I want to go put myself in a Chinese hospital. Why? Because there was this show years and years ago where they had 80 patients. They had 80 pots of herbal teas cooking. They had qigong, tuina massage every day. They had acupuncture every day, and they had healing foods. I said, that's the hospital I want to go to. So I never made it to that hospital, but I do see an acupuncturist 3 times a week at least. And he studied in China. He lived in China. He's married to a Chinese, and he's white Jewish.
That's like the perfect combination. Don't let him get away.
Anyway, so please continue. Anyways, we're very fortunate to have you, Michele. Thank you so much for your time, your precious time in joining. So should we just jump right in to the...
Yes, let's jump right in.
So go ahead.
So I wasn't quite sure who would be joining and what kind of information they understand about Chinese medicine. So I thought we'd start off really basic with a few concepts.
Very good idea.
So one of the things that I wanted to bring forth is the idea that Chinese philosophy places great emphasis on systems theory. Which is that in the natural world there are systems which are related to each other. A lot of people know, for example, the 5 element system is one of those systems that categorizes the different systems of the natural world. So very important point about these systems is that they're related to each other, which means that if there's a change in one system, further on, it will have an effect on the other systems. Within each individual system themselves, there are units which belong to those systems as well, and the same laws apply to these bigger systems. So if we change something, if we affect one unit in the system, then the other units will also, at some point, experience some kind of change.
Okay.
Now, if we look at the systems, for example, I give you some examples. We have a lot of smaller systems, and these smaller systems are said to mirror the bigger systems. So, for example, Earth is able to mirror the greater universe. We call it like a microcosm, which mirrors the macrocosm.
Okay.
Then we have even smaller systems on Earth as well, which mirror the Earth, and they can even mirror the bigger macrocosm.
Okay, right, okay.
So I can give you some examples of that. I actually have my slides here in front of me. I don't know if we see them, but we can try take a look.
Okay, just yeah. Oh, yeah.
There we go. So
okay. Oh, the three treasures. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a very well-known one in Chinese medicine.
Yes.
The three treasures, right?
Yes, Jing, Qi, and Shen, and actually Jing, right? That's perfect segue into the season of water, because the Jing, now from what I understand, is housed in your kidneys. So that's called your prenatal Qi, right? That you get from your ancestors or from your parents.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay. Exactly.
Okay.
But the reason I brought up this little picture is because we're looking at the human being as a system here, which mirrors a bigger system. So we're looking at a human being which is actually mirroring the universe. So if we have a look, we have the upper dantian is the positive sign there at the top. We have the middle dantian and the lower dantian, which is the little minus negative sign at the bottom. Okay. And if we can compare this, for example, don't get too distracted by the names of the dantians if people are not familiar with that. But for example, the upper part is compared to the heavens, right? What we call the greater universe. The middle part can be compared to our atmosphere in the earth, where all the weather and the climate is happening. And the lower dantian, that we can compare to the earth that we are on, right?
Right, okay.
That's within us, we are mirroring the greater macrocosm. So on the other side, I also have a little picture of a tree.
Okay.
And you can see it's a very similar concept.
Okay.
It's also organized in the same way, where you have the heavens at the top, you have the middle, which is the chi mechanism, and then you have the roots at the bottom, right? Which is the earth and the jing level, right?
So that's Jia Yang Wood in BaZi.
Yeah, that's a strong Jerry Young wood, right?
That's a strong Jia Yang Wood, yes. That's a great picture.
And which season is it in?
Oh, God, that's prosperous. That would be wood.
Yeah. But I chose this picture especially because it has no leaves, right? It's the metal season, we're dropping the leaves.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Into the winter season, right?
Okay.
But we can get a bit more into that later.
Right. Okay.
Great. So that's a little example to show you how everything in the universe is related. And I wanted to bring this up especially because it's so much related to the work that Melanie does, where she's trying to explain to us how the astrological changes are affecting us here on Earth.
As above, so below.
Exactly. As above, so below. So we are connected to these changes. As they happen above, they affect us. We are affected emotionally, mentally, and also physically as well. And one of the important things about systems is changes occur all the time, but the system reorganizes and it tries to find a new balance. And now during this month, with the clash of the dragon and the dog. This is very active, and we are being asked to find a new balance, right? We're going through this shift, and we need.
That's for sure.
Yes.
And we're going into another shift next year. That's another big shift, yes. The year of the wait
for that video.
Yes. Yes, that's we're going to be talking about health for next year, but go ahead. Yeah. I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
So Melanie can tell you a lot of things about the emotional and the mental shifts that we have to go through, and how we have to prepare ourselves, change our perception, so that we can find our place again and find that balance. And what I wanted to get into is a little bit about how those shifts affect our physical bodies.
Wonderful.
Yes, and what we can do from a Chinese medicine perspective also to rebalance and find a new equilibrium. So,
perfect.
Moving a step on down from the astrology, these changes are taking place in our atmosphere as well. So in Chinese medicine, we speak about yin and yang. And what's happening now is that the yang is moving inwards to the interior. So from the atmosphere into the interior of the earth. And because of that, it's getting colder. And the climate is also getting drier. At the same time, we're experiencing the same mirroring effect in the body. So the yang is moving away from the periphery. It's moving away from our limbs. It's moving to our core, to our interior. And in Western medicine, we can think of this also as the circulatory system, our yang, the flow of blood. So blood vessels are contracting, and the blood is moving towards the interior of the body. And what's happening as that happens is we are less adaptable to the changes on the outside when that happens. So the cold that is being experienced on the outside will start to affect us more, because we don't have that blood circulation, we don't have that yang, we don't have that energy to be able to react, to be able to have a very strong immune system. So it's important for us to adapt, to find a new balance, and to change our routines, our habits, our diets, the clothing we wear, rest and physical activity, as well as emotional and mental activity, to compensate for these changes that are happening in the outer world.
Okay, so metal is the metal element is associated with the organs lung, large intestine, and skin. Also, from my studies and understanding of traditional Chinese medicine, lungs are connected to what they call the Wei Qi, which is also, that's the protective outer layer between you and the world. Is that correct? And it's like your protective layer also to your immunity. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. And normally in summertime, that protective layer is very strong. But as our circulation, as our yang retreats,
interesting.
He has less yang. There's also less bloods. Our pores react differently, and the Wei Qi can no longer react as it normally would.
So that's why people tend to get, right now in this season, get more colds, more coughs, whether it could be a wet cough or a dry cough. Their immunity could be lower.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, the organ which is most affected at the moment is the stomach. It suffers heavily because of this lack of circulation.
So that's so funny that you're going to bring that up, because I was going to bring that up too, but so this is very good. So I'm looking at chart of the month, which is Wood Dog Month. Okay, so it's Yang Wood and Yang Earth are the two. It's the main chi. So you have Yang Wood in the heavenly stem and Yang Earth in the dragon. That's the main chi of the dragon. Now there's sub chis of dragon, but the main chi is Yang Earth. Okay. Now the year is also Yang Wood dragon. So we have this wood countering the earth. So I was actually going to ask you that question. Spot on, of course you are, Michele, because isn't the wood invading the stomach? So the wood is invading the earth, it's controlling the earth, and especially if your earth is not very strong and weak, you actually can see that in your BaZi chart as well.
Exactly.
That people would be having a lot more stomach issues. Exactly. So interesting. Okay.
Not everybody is affected by the dragon and dot clash, but there are people who have that in their charts, who have that in their genetics, who resonate differently with that. And the problem with wood and earth, right? Right. These people would suffer from digestive problems then.
Where the wood is attacking the earth.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, the earth will have more problems because of this metal element now, that the dryness that the cold dryness, which is becoming a problem, so it makes it weaker.
Okay. All right.
But it's unbalanced, then you're going to have that on top of this weakness.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. So in a moment we can get into actually the things that people may suffer from during this season.
Okay.
I thought what I would like to mention quickly is maybe just a quick overview of what we can do to find this new balance and to protect our yang and nurture our yin in the season. So the reason we want to protect our yang is because the yang is moving inside, right? So we don't want to waste it. We don't want to agitate. We want to keep it in the interior. We want to conserve that yang, which is not the strongest at the moment, right? So if we were looking at that picture that we were looking at before of the Jing Qi Shen, so one of the most simple things that we need to do to bring the yang or to keep the yang in the interior is to cut down our mental activity.
Oh boy. I have mental activity 24/7, 7 days a week.
Okay. The problem with our society, Mel, right? We're not the reasons.
That's true. That's true. Wow.
All that Jing is leaking out.
Yes, and the spleen chi becomes deficient.
Right.
Yeah. Too much studying. Yeah. Too much learning. Not learning, but yeah, working, studying, etc.
Yes. Well, what the metal is asking us to do now, right, is first of all, is we need to refine. We have now collected a lot from our summer activities. A lot of we've harvested a lot. We've made a lot of profit. We have a lot of assets. We have had a lot of experiences, and now metal is asking us to pick out what's important. What do we keep, right?
Okay, right, okay.
That's the same as the function of the lungs, right?
Right.
Metal is focused on taking out the pure, right, and letting go of the impure. So the lungs are taking the oxygen and letting go of the carbon dioxide.
Right. Okay.
But then also the lung is paired with the large intestine.
Right.
So if it's there's still that separation of pure, the absorption of the fluids that the body still needs, and letting go of the stool, everything that we can no longer use.
Right. Letting go. That's a metaphor for what we in our lives what we need to let go of as well.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
right now.
Things happen on a physical level in the body and also on an energetic level.
True, very true. Right? Yes. True. It's all connected.
True. So in the metal season, in the autumn, we are like the tree, right? We're being asked to let go of those leaves that we no longer need, to prioritize, so that we can start to send energy to the interior, not waste energy, and store it in our roots and keep it safe for the winter.
That's wonderful. That's very well said, Michele. Very well said. Yes. And then we have these phones and computers, right? 24/7. You know that. You know, it's these things are like, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
So
it all depends on how you use it, right?
That's right.
The deciding factor, right?
That's for sure. That's for sure. Our daily choices.
Our daily choices. So aside from cutting down that mental activity, stilling the emotions, because if the emotions are flaring all the time, we're also losing our energy, right? We can't store our energy in our roots, in our kidneys, if the heart is always overactive, right? Right?
Okay.
To calm down, to go inward, reflect, and find our inner peace, so that we can kind of hibernate for the winter. And when you do that, you'll find in spring you'll come up a lot stronger. You'll have a lot more energy, physically, mentally, emotionally.
I couldn't agree with you more. However, as you mentioned, our modern lifestyle is totally against the natural order of the universe. Like, I'm just thinking, oh my God, okay, Thanksgiving. Oh, I gotta prepare. I gotta think. Okay, which child am I gonna go see for Thanksgiving? Okay, what about the holidays? Now Christmas is coming. So it's like,
yes, yeah.
You know, and it's like when we're supposed to be doing the exact opposite, as nature is calling us to do. So it's yeah.
And we gotta find our balance again.
Yes, balance. Yes.
Yeah.
The eternal balance.
Yes, exactly. So as I said before, we also have to focus a lot on the digestion, because the stomach is the organ which is the most sensitive at this time. And it's getting colder now, and people are losing their energy and starting to get munchy. But it's very important. There are certain rules according to Chinese medicine on how to preserve good digestion. And the first thing that comes is we need to start eating warm food. No more raw foods, no more cold foods. That season of the summer is now past, and a lot of people have a tendency to digestive heat, which is problematic as well. So we need to find diets that are warm, but with foods that are neutral. So also foods that are not extremely heavy, no fatty, very sweet or flavorful foods. We want to keep it warm, but not too complicated.
Soups and stews, delicious. And you know what what they do in China? They saute lettuce. They don't eat raw lettuce. They saute lettuce. I love it. I've actually had sauteed lettuce. It's actually delicious. Yeah, because it's all about their digestive qi.
Yeah.
Right? And that actually cooking is like pre-digesting the food. So
yes.
I think it's very, very important. I'm on the cooked food side. I'm not on the raw food side. I mean, unless you have like you said, you have a very strong digestive fire. And I think if you have more heat, then you could tolerate a little bit of raw food, and preferably, fermented foods, which are raw but fermented. So
yes, but I'm guessing most of the society has weak digestions because they don't look after their digestive capacity.
Very true.
Yes, and we've been taught the wrong things with icy drinks and the food straight from the refrigerator and not being careful. Yeah.
Oh my God! In the United States, the first thing they give you, you go to a restaurant, you sit down, you get a glass of ice water. I always have to ask, please, no one. Now in Europe, they don't give you the ice water; they give you room temperature water, right?
It's starting.
It's starting. Oh,
yeah. China is still the best. You can get your hot water anywhere.
I know. I was in Malaysia last year, and they had the morning buffet, and they actually had hot water and room temperature water. Like, wow. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Oh, and there's one thing that I tell a lot of my clients. They work in offices and they have a tendency to eat sandwiches or salads during the lunch breaks. And I always say, just combine that with a tea or combine that with a soup or something, just to help that digestive fire so you don't lose it, right?
That's really, very important. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Especially if that's the way you're eating on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's going to weaken your digestion. Yeah. So also for the people who have more heat in the digestive system, we can add some bitter foods that helps to clear heat. Will be also more dryness because of the season. Then we can add sour foods. That's very good to keep the fluids astringent fluids in the digestive system. Also more soups, as you said, and more yin foods, tofus, milk. But obviously we have to look at the quality of the food that we're eating as well.
Well, milk, that's a whole discussion. We could just do a whole class on that. Okay.
Okay. I don't think we want to go into that today.
But if you're going to drink milk, raw milk. Okay, that's all I have to say. Not pasteurized, homogenized, low fat, no fat. Okay, that.
That's a really good tip. A very, very good tip. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I've had this discussion with my acupuncturist.
Yeah.
And we go back and forth. And goat milk and sheep milk and okay. So go ahead.
Some very typical Chinese medicine foods for this season. For example, rice congee.
Oh, congee. I love congee.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and it's very simple to make. It's just water and rice, and you can't go wrong.
It's like it's like what I think it's like 6-1 or 6-7 parts to water. But you know what? Even better, use stock. Use chicken stock, fish stock, to the rice, and then it's even more delicious.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about congee. You can have it any way you want, right? You can put so many different things inside.
Okay, so recently, speaking about my stomach, which I have a very strong digestive system, my stomach wasn't well, and I'm like, okay, I've had soups, I know I made the teas, I want congee, right? But I just felt too weak. I called everywhere. I looked everywhere where I live, here in Connecticut, USA. No congee. So I went to this one restaurant. I said, it's a Japanese Chinese. I said, do you have congee? And, they don't understand at first, and then when I'm trying, then they understand. Oh yes, we serve that for lunch to our employees. I said, okay. Well, he says, you call up between noon and 12:30. We'll make you congee.
Amazing.
So, but I was like, it was sad that such an how do I say, easy to digest and good food for that digestion. How difficult it was to find.
Yes. When I was in China, I ate congee once a week.
Oh, I have a.
Yeah.
Oh God, I have such a congee story for you. Okay, I had 5 children years and years ago. I took them to the Macy's Day Parade. Okay, so now we were finished the Macy's Day Parade. And we were going to visit my parents in Connecticut from New York City. I said, oh, let's go to get some congee in New York City, right down Chinatown before we drive back. Okay, so we're driving, and I had to get off to call my ex-husband, to see what time he was coming, because he had to cook for the Thanksgiving dinner for his client. Well, I got into an accident because I was drinking my kanji and I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at the
No.
taxi. Oh, I had kanji everywhere. That's my kanji story.
That's a
Okay.
kanji story. That's a big kanji story.
Oh my God. Everyone was fine. Thank God. Thank God. But yeah, that's my kanji story.
The best I've heard.
Oh God. Okay, go ahead.
Kanji is fantastic. It moisturizes the whole of the digestive system. It's so easy and simple on the digestion.
Yes.
If you have any digestive problems, it's the thing to eat. If you have diarrhea, it will help you keep to get the stool firm again as well.
That's true. That's true.
There's so many things that you can put inside, and it's great for kids as well.
Yeah, you can have like you can have vegetable kanji, squash kanji, fish kanji, duck kanji, meat kanji, shrimp kanji, all different kinds of kanjis. Yes.
So for this season, a good thing to put inside is pear. You steam your pear.
Oh, that's so funny. Because I go to the store last night and there was a pear tart. I'm like, pears, yes, that's for the metal season. Perfect for the lungs.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect for the large intestine. Fantastic. A bit of honey as well. Lovely. So
yes.
That's a nice sweet
poached pears with honey, like a honey sauce, and you maybe put a little cinnamon or star anise. Oh yes, that's really good.
Yeah. And that's especially good for the people who are experiencing dryness in the season. Yeah. The ones who have dry mouth, hoarse throat, dry nose, dry eyes, itchy dry skin, scalp, constipation, those kind of things. Even dry cough, that works fantastically, wonderfully.
That's very true. Right, dry cough. Yeah. Hot water with honey and lemon.
And that pear as well. Fantastic.
The pear, yes, the pear, of course, the pear. I remember using pear when sometimes my children, they had a fever and I would give them cooked pear.
Yes. Well. Yeah. Very nourishing.
Okay.
When you have the fever, losing those fluids, right?
Right, it dries it up. Right, exactly.
In as many fluids as possible for those kids, right?
Right. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So when we go more into the winter season, then we can add some more black foods inside, or foods for the kidneys inside the kanji as well. That works well. We can put some walnuts inside, some black sesame, black beans, black fungus. There's so many things that you can do with kanji.
Great idea.
Right? And for the ones with the weaker digestion, a bit of fresh ginger in their food works wonders.
Right. Okay. Now, you got me thinking about the coughs, right? Because dry cough, wet cough, right?
Yeah.
Or if you have more heat, then like ginger is more heat producing.
Yes.
Right. So perhaps I would use mint tea as opposed to ginger. Ginger is more for cold condition, right? And it's very good for to expectorate, right? The excess mucus.
Yes.
To dry the dampness.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we also have the people who are experiencing the digestive heat. Then we can give them a bit of turnip. In Chinese, it's the bailobo. We call it here in Switzerland beard turnip. I don't know if the daikon radish. I think that's the name.
Oh, daikon. Yes. Right? Daikon. Okay, got it. Daikon. Yeah, we call it a white carrot here.
Oh, yeah. The white carrot looks like a white carrot.
Yes. Actually, that's what they often serve it at sushi restaurants, and they grate it very thin, long, and fine, or fine because it is a great digestive aid. Yes.
It's white, seasoned on metal for the lungs.
Oh, okay, right.
And it clears out that heat.
You don't. Oh.
I just advise people just take a slice per day. That's more than enough. And my Chinese friends always tell me it's full of vitamin C, so it's great against flus as well.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because when you cook daikon, it's actually sweet, but when you eat it raw, it's spicy. Depends.
Yes,
like you can get a spicy daikon.
Yeah, diffusing that lung qi. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Works really good. So now I thought I would like to teach everybody a point that they can massage, an acupressure point, also an acupuncture point. But if we massage this point, it's a point for the stomach. It's called stomach 36. The Chinese name is Zhu San Li. I've got it here on my computer. If everybody can see that. Right. This is one of the most famous points in Chinese medicine, actually. It does a little bit of everything, but it's a great digestive point. As you can see there on the slide, for bloating, vomiting, tension, that's in mental tension, gastric pain, poor digestion, dizziness, diarrhea, depression. But the stomach meridian is also great to treat mental problems and emotional problems as well. So a lot of people don't know that that's also related to our digestion and our diet. Yeah. So the way that we find this point, it's closely underneath the eye of the knee on the lateral side of the leg. So that's the outer side of the leg. Let me turn the screen. So if we take our 4 fingers like that, that's the measurement that we need from the eye of the knee. And we just put it from the eye of the knee. Let me see if I can show you my knee here. It's the eye of the knee over there. There. And then
I was what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just below where the last finger falls, on the bone, the tibia there.
Okay.
And if you press it, it's mostly tender in a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So it's on a nice fleshy region over there.
Oh yeah, my acupuncturist does that on me all.
Yeah. So for people with poor digestion, we often do a lot of moxibustion on that point. But if you have digestive heat as well, we'd like to needle it.
Great.
Yeah. But it's a homeostatic point in the body, and it can actually regulate almost anything, even blood pressure. So what I recommend people to do, especially if it's sensitive, just massage it as hard as you can for 3 to 5 minutes each side per day.
Great advice. Very good.
And that strengthens the stomach. That strengthens the immunity. It's a great point. If there's one point in Chinese medicine that you need to know, it's stomach 36.
Okay.
It's known actually longevity points.
It's known what?
As the longevity point.
Well, we need all the longevity we can get, especially as I get older. So I'm going to massage that every day. Yes.
So, yes, it's a great point to massage throughout the whole of the winter season, actually. Regulate the immunity. Really good.
Okay.
And then the meridian, which is affected during this season, is the pericardium meridian. So it is such that each organ is connected to a meridian. And then this meridian also has connected to other meridians. So at some point when one meridian is full in energy, there will be, if you know the organ clock, you'll know a little bit what I'm talking about. Then the other, at the maximum time of that organ, then the meridian on the opposite end of the clock will be deficient.
The weakest, right. Okay.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Because of this constellation, the pericardium meridian at the moment can help regulate stomach conditions. Right. So let me show you the point that I wanted to, also a very famous one on the pericardium meridian.
Hmm.
And why I like this point so much at the moment, it not only regulates the stomach, but it's a point for mental and emotional problems. You can see there anxiety, racing heart, heart palpitations, fear, sadness, stuffy chest, chest pain, nausea, vomiting, morning sickness, insomnia, wrist pain, and stomach ache. So I think right now with the dog and the dragon clash, people will be experiencing a lot of mental and emotional problems and anxiety and tension. And this is a great point which can help them to just calm down, relax a little bit, and feel a little bit better.
I am so glad you brought up the issue of mental issues and mental instability right now. I was hoping you would, because we have just entered period 9 for the next 20 years, officially on February 4th, 2024. And period 9 is associated with the Lee trigram of fire. And the fire element is associated with the heart, small intestine. It's associated with blood. So you're going to see definitely more, and let me put it so heart and blood related issues, number one. Now, water controls fire, right? So water is, if you look at a general aspect of water, it also has to do with one's mental capacity, right? So you're going to see this conflict between water and fire. So you're going to see a lot more mental instability in the next 20 years. And I think there's going to be a lot more, emotional, mental conditions.
Yes, definitely. This again is a very easy point to find. It's called pericardium 6, neg 1, and it's in between the tendons of the inner arm, right? The medial side of the arm. So let me turn my screen around quickly. Let's see. Oh my goodness.
You're doing great. You're doing great, Michele. You're doing great.
My phone is not holding. There we go. Hold on. So
I
there
know.
we are. Okay. So the way to find that is we basically take the thumb at the crease of the wrist. Okay. You can see that, and we go 2 thumbs down. So underneath the second thumb, that's where the point would be, in between the tendons. And you can just press it with your nail strongly. Sometimes it helps also just to pump the point a little bit. And again, 4 to 5 minutes either side. And you'll find that you will feel emotionally and mentally a lot better.
Wonderful.
You'll feel a lot of stress just leave the body.
Wonderful. Great tip. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. So, very important to regulate our yin and our yang when we're facing changes in the environment. I think one thing that I didn't mention is that the cold is directly impacting our bodies because our yang is inside and can't protect our surface anymore. So wearing enough clothes this season, especially sometimes you'll find at midday it's quite warm, but then in the morning and afternoons and in the evening it starts to get very cold.
Absolutely.
So you don't want to be caught out in the wrong clothes.
Right, layering is good.
Yes, with weakened immunity. Yeah, I think it was you who mentioned that you're gonna have to store clothes in your car. Was that you, or did I read that somewhere?
Yeah. No, you can say it's me, but no, it wasn't me.
Okay. No. So this is the season where you need like a whole wardrobe in your car.
That's so true. It's funny because I left my coat in the car saying, "Oh, when I go back out, I'll need it," and I was taking it off earlier this afternoon.
Yes.
I know something that the Japanese do. They wear a horror warmer in the wintertime. So it actually it protects. It's kind of like a scarf around the back, your lower back, and around your stomach, which you would call like the Tian, right? Or to protect the cold coming in.
I do that too. Everybody thinks I'm an old granny, but I protect my kidneys.
You protect your kidneys. Oh no, it's very true because you know, just like cold foods, cold weather.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
You know, it can affect us very deep. Cold to the depth of your bones. I've been in that weather. Or
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and right now, the 24th node, the seasonal nodes that we're going into, frost descent, is when all the back problems start because it starts to get a lot colder. So you really have to pay a lot of attention to protecting the back, keeping it warm, and not only that, we need to make sure that the feet are warm enough because the meridians from the feet join to the lower back, right?
First thing I do is put on my slippers, and I started doing that a couple weeks ago as we start to get colder nights. But Michele, I have to say, okay, what about the southern hemisphere? Because you know we always forget the southern hemisphere people, because you know TCM was born in the northern hemisphere in China, and so now in the southern hemisphere, they're going into they're leaving their winter, going into their spring, right? So we're in our fall, going into our winter. So, anyways, I don't. It's
Well, I have my seasonal calendar here in front of me. So we are going into. Hold on, where are we now? Here, frost descent, and they are at clear and bright seasonal node. So they are just after their vernal equinox, right?
Yeah.
So their summer is beginning very, very soon, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Their summer. Okay, they're okay. So they're in their spring, going into their summer. We're in our fall, going into the winter. Okay, so yeah, they're in the transition, going into summer. Got it.
Yes. Yeah, so they have very different recommendations to us.
Right? I know. We have to do a Southern Hemisphere recommendations. I know, because they always.
I feel bad for them.
I know. They always get. You know, it's not fair.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Okay. So also a good one is make sure you have warm blankets on your bed and that you don't have the windows open anymore because it's not the season for that anymore with our lowered immunity.
Oh, that's so funny because it was so wonderful to turn the air conditioning off, and I love fresh air. I just love it. So I'm opening the windows, and I'm like, and then like I don't know, it was a week ago. It was like, whoa, that was cold. So yeah.
Yes. Old people are falling ill at the moment because they're not protecting themselves well enough, right?
Yeah.
And we're still in the season of metal. We want to be going to bed early, but waking up early as well to keep that lung chi robust, to help our immunity so we don't get colds as well. We still can move around quite a lot, do a lot of sport and activity, but we have to find the right hours to do it. And we have to make sure we don't sweat. If we sweat, we lose our yang. So not too heavy exercise, and at the right time of the day where we're not exposing ourselves to cold. And with the right dress, right?
Right. And my acupuncturist yells at me all the time. The first thing you have to do, you get up and you go outside and you get the morning light. Yeah. So I don't care. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if you're too busy. It's not important. What's important is you get the natural light. And I also bring that up because actually I'm learning more about the effects of the blue light. Yes. You know, from our cell phones and our computers, and how that's actually decreasing the dopamine in our brains, and then it's also keeping us awake at night if we're constantly on the phones or computers.
I think we can do a video on that now.
Yes, no, let's. Because now I'm like the importance of red light, and you can get special red light glasses. You can he was showing me how you can change your phone to red light, like screen. and even on your computer. So yeah, and that's a huge one. That's a huge topic. So that's next time.
Good. I'm strongly for that. That needs to be spoken about. It's a huge pandemic.
It is. Oh my gosh! And then he was a neurosurgeon, and he's bringing this to the forefront. And he was equating it with what is that hormone? The hunger hormone. What's the name of it? Now it escapes me, but I'll remember it as soon as we turn the video off.
Talk about
but
afterwards.
Yeah, but it stimulates that particular pathway. Anyways, it's fascinating.
Okay. So I think there's not much more that I want to mention. Probably just the illnesses that will be popping up. There'll be a lot of cardiovascular and cerebral vascular problems because the circulation, the yang is in the interior and then circulation is impeded. For these people, it's very important to keep their feet warm. If they have really bad circulation, they could even do foot baths. That's a good one. And
with ginger foot bath.
Yeah,
it's also very good.
Ginger or pepper or moxa. There are different foot baths that you can do. Yes.
Okay.
To help the circulation there, and a good time to do it is at night, the yin time. So you can disperse that cold that accumulates. Yeah, and that will help people sleep better as well. And then because of the circulation going to the interior, a lot of people will experience relapses with their old problems that they have and old diseases. They probably will resurface. So that's a natural thing at this time of the year. I think we mentioned already the gastrointestinal problems, digestive heat, reflux, constipation, also the dryness that people may have, dry nose, mouth, throat, nasal problems, nasal bleeding, sinuses, allergies as well, rhinitis.
So Michele, let me ask you something. So don't you think it depends upon the climate? Like if you live in a very damp climate, you would have a tendency to more damp conditions. If you live in a dry climate, you have a tendency to more dry conditions. Or you're saying...
Depends also on the constitution.
Okay, right. Okay.
But you must understand, because of the cold, people are also putting on heaters now.
Yes, I thought of that too. Right before we went on, I said, yes, I have to remember to talk about the heat because the heat's very dry, and you're right.
Right. So it's not only an external atmosphere problem, there is less rain in most places, although weather patterns are changing, but it's the fact that it's cold and people go inside and they have layers on and they're using heating, and so their bodies are becoming much drier.
Right.
So actually drinking water is a very important recommendation. And a lot of people think they do their 3 liters, gulp it down, and that's enough. That's the wrong way to do it. You have to sip your water throughout the day. I'm not a huge fan of saying you need so many liters, but as long as you're constantly, yes, that actually is not good for your stomach.
And it overworks the kidneys. It overworks the kidneys too.
Yes. And then people are doing it before bed. As well. They're waking up to go to the toilet, also the wrong thing to do. But if you continuously sip, keep yourself hydrated, and not over exaggerate before you go to bed, that's the right way to do it. Yeah.
I remember the name, leptin hormone. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's talking about that.
Oh, brilliant.
Anyways. We should probably be wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So awesome presentation. You're amazing. Now, Michele, how can people get a hold of you? And I'm sorry I don't live in Switzerland, because I'd be at your clinic all the time.
Come visit me.
I will. So tell me, how can people? So you have a website?
Yes. I have a website.
Okay.
My details are on Facebook, but also on Instagram. I've uploaded that.
You
My
can you put in
website address?
Can you put
is
it
there.
in the comment section for people to see? Do you mind? So
Yes.
how they can get a hold of you?
I will.
And for any of you who are listening from Europe, you're lucky.
Yeah.
If you're
I do online consultations as well.
Wonderful. Okay, perfect.
I do like to see my clients, but I also can help with a lot of lifestyle changes and dietary advice as well. And I believe very much also in mental and emotional stability. That's very important.
That's huge. That's huge.
And good sleep. Good sleep is important.
Right. Remember, Michele, an hour before midnight is worth 2 hours afterwards.
Definitely. So many people make that mistake.
I know. I keep trying, Michele, to follow my own advice. I'm trying.
Come on, more. Come on. I'll be checking up on you.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, I'm not winning with writing it in there.
Tell me. Just tell me.
Okay, I think I've got it.
Okay. Perfect. TCM Healing Chi.ch?
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that. Okay, perfect.
Well, that's a Swiss address. Yes.
Oh, okay, got it. Perfect.
Yeah. So I put a lot of effort in my website. There's a lot of nice articles to read up on about Chinese medicine and Qi, help people understand more what a Chinese practitioner does and how they can help.
This went much better than I expected. It's awesome. I'm so grateful. We should start doing this every month because I think this can help a lot of people. Thank you so much, Michele. Thank you so much.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to come online with you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Now, if I could just figure out how to, see people in the chat, hopefully people are listening. And, if you have any questions, I don't know how to do that one yet. I'm like, I don't. So.
And also, can you save the video, Mel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
As long as you know how to do that, I think that's the most important.
As soon as I finish live, they said, do you want to save it or leave? Of course, I'll save it, and it will be posted right away.
Great. Perfect. I hope that it helps a lot of people. But
thank you so much.
We had fun.
Yes, Michele, thank you so much. You put a lot of effort into it, and I really appreciate it. So.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher. 谢谢老师。
谢谢。不苦谢。You corrected me. Now I know why you corrected me, because you know Chinese.
We will go to China one day together.
Oh.
To your hospital.
Okay. Oh, I'd love to do that. Okay. Yeah. That. Okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
Definitely.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
be a translator.
I have a very good Chinese friend. He's in Shanghai, I think.
Oh, that's
or Beijing.
Where I lived.
Okay.
Shanghai. I stayed several years in Shanghai.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so Shishay, thank you so much. It was awesome, and much love. Okay.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Or day.
Bye. Okay. Bye. Okay. Now how do I end this? I'm not sure.
I can leave. Just make sure you save it.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay, so now. All right. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions as you listen to the replay of this, put them in the comment section, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. My website is the Red Dragon Consulting Group. Also, you can join my Facebook page, which is Feng Shui and Chinese Astrology, where I post every day. In fact, I just posted my Feng Shui and annual astrology event for 2025 I'll be posting that when I get off, right on my feng shui and Chinese astrology page, as well as here. Thank you so much. Take care.